I'm gonna start streaming now and we'll see how the speed goes, if there's drop frames, all that kind of stuff. And let me take out the chat. Pop out. Cool. So I'm streaming okay. So we'll wait a few minutes, and then I'll go ahead and start. How are you today, no one? I'm gonna put this video on YouTube, so I'm sure like people are gonna see it and have to watch the lovely like first 5 minutes of me mumbling into the camera. You can hear, you might even be able to hear the fan in the background, which I don't feel like turning off because I like white noise. But like when I'm doing, oh, I see one viewer here. Hello. But yeah, I like doing, I like keeping a fan on. But like when I do the Doom mixtape videos and stuff, I turn them off because it's a better audio quality. Whereas this like almost doesn't make any difference. I do really need to get a headset mic. Maybe it's something like to ask for my birthday or something. Like try and get one of my friends to get it for me or something. Because like my birthday is in another month or so. Okay. I decided like to not freak out too much if people don't come in the chat or whatever. But it'd be cool if people come by and participate. Let's see if I have viewers. I have 3 viewers. Okay. Yeah, the last few times when I was doing this, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to start once I have more viewers, but I don't know, considering the fact that I'm putting it on YouTube anyway, it just like looks weird. It's almost like I'm guilting people into watching the stream or something, so I don't know. It's okay if people don't. Alright. I might just go ahead and start in another minute. That's what that. You know what? I'm going to delete this. That is redundant. Okay. Hopefully I won't get like shitty people like what happened at the very end of my last stream, but we'll see. Anyway, let's start. There's 5 people, that's plenty. Oh, I might as well do the command line sheet too in case like I have some sort of issue. Oh goodness, that's loud. Alright. I don't think that affects the volume. No, that's just the volume in my headphones. Let me know if the game volume is too quiet. I can turn it up a little bit, but I think that should be fine. Especially because my mic volume is a little weird. Okay. And yes, there'll probably be audio glitches, I'm sorry. Minimize this. I was looking at the Wolfenstein 3D wiki, and it was funny how it described these images. See, this is actually the entrance to a castle right here. But I always thought it was like bones. But it definitely is the entrance to a castle on like a high angle. And like this is supposed to be a toxic barrel. I thought it was like a shoulder or something of like, or a piece of fabric because it looks wrinkled. This is supposed to be toxic vapors. I always thought it was like torn fabric. This is a gas mask, obviously. The last, these 3 episodes, of which I'm starting episode 4 now, are supposed to be the prequel to these 3, but they're actually harder. Although I don't know, I think they might be, 4 and 5 might be about equal to episode 2 because the mutants are more difficult. But these are all have like narrative things about them that make them distinctive, whereas these episodes don't really. But I think the design is more interesting in them for the most part. Episode 6 is kind of goes way too far in the direction of gimmick, but 4 and 5 are probably my favorite episodes. So let's start. A dark secret. Okay, the volume seems fine. Cool. And once again, I apologize for weird audio glitches. Sorry, I just want to see if more people in that. Okay, whatever. All right. Use this window again. Okay. Here we go. I Am Death Incarnate. I always really liked this opening. I thought it was like really effective. A lot of like columns and stuff here. It's a lot more imposing than you would maybe expect. My Wolfenstein mod that I made when I was 14 is loosely based on the plot of episode 4, this episode. And actually on the last level, you exit out of this part. There aren't any columns here. And yeah, I don't know. But I like how this this first room really calls attention at the beginning of this episode, and there are a lot of like really kind of interesting surreal spaces in this episode. This looks like a castle. It actually feels like a castle, unlike a lot of the other levels, which maybe distinguishes it just because these wide open areas feel like, you know, there's more tension in them because you can't tell exactly what's going, where, you know, what you're gonna see. These like panels here blocking the doors, I have no idea why they're there, but let's go this way. Oh goodness. What about this way? Of course I forget like where the secrets are, so. Oh, didn't alert the other guy. That's funny. Oh no, oh no! I should have known. Yeah, these are just side areas. Even though this is my favorite episode, it is a little bit inconsistent. Some levels are better than others. I always found this like, I had like intense anxiety about the mazes in this episode and episode 6, so I would never play them when I was a kid, and only afterwards, when I got a little older, like preteen, teenager age, you know, when I was like looking at the maps and the map editor, I just got kind of fascinated by this episode just because it's really different. And there isn't like necessarily like a logical reason for it being different as far as the story, because it's supposed to be the beginning of a new story. It's supposed to be like the very first chronological episode of Wolfenstein. Okay, that's a super. This is like a big castle sort of dining area. This actually looks kind of realistic, like, you know, kind of what you might expect. It feels more like a place, I guess, which is one thing that sticks out to me, rather than episode 1, which is just these like abstract rooms that are kind of like look like a prison. This room is what I'm talking about when I say like this episode is surreal. So there's this kind of red brick area, and then there's this lit hallway that's leading you into this other area over here. And these are the only places that you need to go in the map. But you know, usually in this game they have there are doors here or something like that to separate these areas. But they're more like portals or something. In this case, I don't think it's necessarily like unrealistic. It's just different from how they were doing it. So you can see that like maybe their design, like Tom Hall specifically, who designed this episode, that his kind of design preferences or what he wanted to do kept changing. This is like the first part of the maze that would really irritate me. There are a lot of mazes in this game, for sure. And this is where you need to go. Oh, okay, I thought there were guards over there. I managed to go the way of the guards. So it's not too heavily guarded compared to other, you know, spaces in this game on the, you know, the highest difficulty. And then, like, we enter here, and this is sort of like a weird foreshadowing. This is a new texture. It's actually used in Doom 2 when there's these weird panels here. And then there are all these blood splatters all over the wall, which are... it's interesting to me because, like, in episode 2, you could sort of... make out some sort of like narrative about why everything is like blood splattered and everything because of mutants everywhere. Here it's supposed to be about chemical war, and like you discovering the plans of chemical war or whatever. So all these other spaces just seem almost incidental, and there isn't like a lot of like story reason or whatever for why they're there. So that's what I like about it, that it's a sort of a cave area, and it's like really cartoony. Well, it's sort of this cave area that you're supposed to just take on its face, but then there are all these blood splatters and everything. But it's not necessarily something that is like accounted for in the story. Tom Hall likes hiding officers at the end with these two-door things. This is just like your first little wake-up call or surprise, because this is the beginning of episode 4 through 6 were sold separately from the original game, and then they were combined into one game eventually. There you go. End of map 1. Hi, Duke Separ. This is an interesting map. You can actually beat it very, very quickly, and I'll show you, but I'll also go through the other map. Oh my god. I should probably save, huh? Okay, so I alert those guards. Get out of my way, motherfucker. And then I come over here. Oh my god. This is easier on, like, normal difficulty. But these guards will open these doors. And you can get them, if you kill them in the doorway, this is the, this leads to the exit. Unfortunately, I didn't have like a chain gun or something to kill the guards fast enough to get these guys in the doorway, but you get the idea. When I like speed run this episode back when I was like 14, I would do that. I'm gonna save. I don't think there's any guards left in here yet, but you get a nice little window into the exit, which I like. I like it whenever they do that. This is actually a pretty simple level, but you wouldn't know it from looking at it because it's huge. It takes up the whole space, 64 by 64 grid that you're allowed to use. Yes. The weird episode. Episode 6 is pretty weird too, but and yeah, it's bordering on the across the entire level, and there are these like armor dudes. It looks more like an actual castle, I guess you could say. And the fact that it has more of a sense of place or like a perceivable setting actually makes it more distinguishable to me. I guess episode 2 has some very castle-seeming levels, and this episode 4 also does some of this stuff, with the columns that like look out into the daytime. This one, presumably, it's the daytime because it's the very beginning. Episode 6, it's nighttime. Episode 3 and 5 you never see outside. So, I don't know. That's like a little incidental detail, but it's something that, definitely sticks out to you when you play it. This room is kind of shaped like an eagle or something. I don't know. I just noticed that. There's a pathway leading to the really well-known secret in this level, but I don't want to get it because it'll just block off my entrance to it. If I hit this wall, it'll block off my entrance to it. I'll try to get to it, but I can't promise that I won't mess it up. Because I'd have to like look at the map. Some of the secrets in this game are so like labyrinthine and like just silly, the pathways that you actually have to go to get them. This is just a small little ammo room and health room. But yeah, there's for how big this level is, there's not actually a lot of places you need to go, which is kind of nice. I think it's cool that you're thrust into this like really big area right away, and that it doesn't really outstay its welcome. Like, you come up here, and these guards are all like humping the wall over here because they're all alerted at the beginning. Oh, and there are these weird sinks too. I don't know what the point of that is. Presumably... Yeah. And this lets you get to the key. I don't know, the layout here is very nice and symmetrical. It's kind of tense. I don't know. I like it. If I want to like actually talk about these levels in detail at some point, maybe I'll just write more things about them, because I looked back over my old articles and I said a lot of stuff that I wouldn't just say off the cuff. This is the famous secret, which is, I guess, one of the first things in the episode that seems really strange and out of place. It just kind of, this room is just kind of floating here. There's nothing else in this room other than, like, just showing you that there's this gigantic, huge secret in the second level that's really hard to get to, as you might expect. We'll try to get to it, but we'll see. So I have the gold key, which is the only key that you need to exit. I don't think they introduced the silver key until level 4 or level 5, I'm not sure. Okay, so it's somewhere over here. I can't promise that I'm going to get this right. Thought it was somewhere over here. I might have to look at a map, but I have like the wiki open, so... where are we? Okay, floor 2. Oh yeah, it should be right there. Huh. Well, I'll try it again. It's on that leftmost. Should be my right, on the right side. Should be right here. Yeah, okay, I just missed it. Alright, and then, yeah. I want to hit... Oh, this is absurd. Well, this part is actually not too absurd. I hit this wall just so I can hit this secret over here. And here's the entrance to the other side of that red brick area that I was in before. This game is very, like, labyrinthine with its secrets. Oh, it's interesting to me how this, like, this room, it's like floor lamps and stuff just sitting in all these, like, gross ass, like, skulls and, skeletons and blood. It makes me think of, like, maybe it's like a little bit of foreshadowing in the secret there. That's interesting. Usually the secrets don't have a lot of, like, narrative importance, but maybe that's not the case in this episode. I think this episode, just in general, maybe a little bit more thoughtful with the design, but let's go ahead and... So it's going to be over to the... behind this little toilet basket thing. So this goes back into the secret that I was in earlier, and if I hit it this way it would block off my path here, so that's not a good thing. And now the game's gonna fuck with me a little bit. And it's gonna give me 2 secrets, one of which is gonna block me off, so I have to make sure to take the right one, which there is no way of telling, it's just complete chance. I suppose if you saved and loaded again, you would know. But yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, honestly. And like, this is a secret door, but I don't want to hit it. I want to hit this one. I don't even think you can get 100% secrets on this, come to think of it, so they weren't even paying attention to that. And I don't want to hit that, like, gold swastika, because that'll just block off my path after all this. I have to do this instead. Make sure to hit the tile right to the right of it, otherwise I'll block my path. And then yeah, here we go. Now I have, like, every possible thing that you can get in this game. Now let's just block my path off for no reason. Why not? Let's do it again. Wait, can I do it again from here? For no other reason than see if that actually lets me get 100%. I guess you can get 100%. I think there's another secret, I might miss it. I don't really care at this point. Let's exit. So yeah, this map wasn't too hard, but I like how it throws you in something right at the beginning. And here you go. Yeah, and it feels like maybe the most castle-y of any map in Wolfenstein that I can think of. 73%. Oh, okay. I guess I missed a couple. Alright, here we go. So I wrote an article about this map, and it does a few interesting things. It's actually the very first map that's played on the demo, and I'm not sure exactly why, but but it is curious. I like the moving guards here. The moving guards get more use in this episode. The next level, there's a guard walking away from you right at the beginning, which I really like. So this seems like it's a really big, it's going to lead me into this really big area, and it does, but it's not actually important to me beating this map at all. And then if I go this way, let me clear out some of these rooms first. Let's just help them there.
Leon!
I should save, huh? Why not? Okay. Let's bring up the chat again. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. I never got that far. Well, there you go. A lot of people didn't have, am I? Yeah, I'm streaming. Okay. Weird, my Twitch window froze, but it seems to be working for you guys, so... what was I saying? Okay. So in the demo, the player goes to this room right here, and there's a key. Oh, I hear myself talking. Let's unmute the stream. Okay. You pick up this key, and the player tries to kill these guys with a pistol and then dies. And this area is really like intensely lit, like this huge grid of lights here. But the funny thing is, even though the game, this is the one like key that you pick up in any of the demos, as far as I know, this key is not actually used anywhere in the level. They're not even in the secret. It's the only level where they give you a key that does absolutely nothing. And I have no idea why. I think I can't really justify it from like a narrative perspective, but like, you think that it's going to be used for this door, but it's not. Like, the game isn't. It's not that obvious right now. But like, you think it's going to be used later, and it's not. And that's always really curious to me. Even in episode 6, that does a lot of like weird, fucked up, gimmicky stuff. If they give you a key, like you're going to use it at some point in the level, and this just completely breaks with design convention. This seems to be the episode where, I don't know if Tom Hall just got bored, or he wanted to fuck with the player a little bit. But yeah, the actual key that you need is over here, but first I want to go to this area, because it seems like the other big important area in this map. Oh fuck! God damn it! There's just an absurd amount of guards there. Handling that on Am Death Incarnate on a pistol start is just like But yeah, let's do this again since I just saved. I like that there's a guard hidden behind here. If you shoot here, these suits of armor are really like kind of more imposing. Like I said, this again feels more of a castle. So in one way, the setting is a bit more realistic. In another way, like design-wise, a lot of the things make no sense. And I think the two, like the way that those two things work together is really interesting. You can see the game actually slowing down. This definitely happens in DOS. Oh god. No! Asshole. Alright. 5% health. Could do better, but that's alright. So you think that there's gonna be a key here. I mean, anyone would assume that, but, It actually is the same sort of thing that happens later in episode 5 and level 2, really early in the episode, where there's this really giant area that you don't have to go to. It's just there to be like a death trap. Oh, I'm dropping frames. Ah, stop it. Stop dropping frames, you asshole. God, I hate it when that happens. I don't know, I'm having some weird latency issues. That sucks. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. It's so annoying. It's Wolfenstein. It's fucking Wolfenstein. These guys just stand there. I don't know why I don't know if it's like Comcast or something, but I'm getting like crazy drop frames right now. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, no key and no health either. It gives you all the health at the beginning, which I find interesting. This is a useless room. It's just there to, I guess, draw your attention that way. It's like a death trap, but you can safely avoid it. And, you know, if you're not like that great at this game, you probably will try to avoid this area and like look elsewhere. But yeah, there's a door that I always called the verboten door in episode. You can easily miss this, by the way. This is the path to the key right here, but most people are just going to want to turn right, and then there's these confusing set of doors. The key actually is in this like little pathway over this way. And yeah, when you close the door here, it can be really easy to get disoriented because there's no frame of reference for where you entered. Also, it's just lovely to get shot in the face the moment you open the door. But yeah, and then this just sends you back, this other way just sends you back over here. It's an interesting sort of like non-linear layout, but you can just go like, you know, you can either go from the entrance right to the right, you know, ignore all this stuff, go to the right, go through here, and then come back and go to the right and exit through here, or, you know, come this way, go to the left and go and come back. And then you don't need to do anything else, because this leads you here. But I guess like it being an earlier map is part of the reason why there's like this huge confrontation that you don't actually have to go to. They're using the deaf guard thing a lot more in this episode too, to be sneaky. Not in ways of just like it's used in episode 1 where they just stick them on the other side of doors that you enter into, but also like, you know, in big rooms where you have to sort of gradually ease out so that all the guards don't come at you at the same time. So yeah, and this is a big hall area. And this is the exit, and once again there's this sort of gray stone passage that is like the passages in the first level. But we're gonna try and go to the secret. I don't know why these guys just got alerted. Oh, it probably just saw me. Okay. There's a lot of like use of the deaf guards, because of the whole floor code thing. Rooms are separated by doors in this game. Okay, I think that goes where I don't want to go right now. I think the secret might even be marked. It's not that hard to get the secret in this episode. Oh shit. Fucking... That's alright. I have like the maps open, so actually trying and doing some of that stuff this time. Okay. Where am I going? I think there's a lot of mazes in this game. It's like one reason why a lot of people don't like to play it these days. And that's fair. Like, Doom doesn't have lots of mazes. It has like weird non-linear layouts sometimes. But those layouts are really cool, whereas sometimes mazes in this game are just kind of annoying. They don't serve much of a purpose. I like this big-ass room. Okay. I like that this map gives you choices. Like, you can choose not to go where the big confrontations are. The critical path is not that way. It's kind of smart about that. I don't know why I'm getting drop frames. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay. Oh, that guy was looking for me. And I really need this health, so that's good. So the secret is somewhere over here. Let's look at the map for a second. It would be nice to not have to look at the map to cheat, but this game is not good with that. Like, the secrets are often in really unintuitive places, and it's just a matter of hitting, you know, the right whatever secret. It kind of sucks. I think it's this. Yeah. Okay. At least there's only one secret door this time. And then we're here. Alright. I missed a bunch of secrets. Oh well. So it's the same music in episode 1 level 10, the secret. And it's appropriate because you really actually do have to sneak around. There are a billion officers. I don't know how many, like 150, something absurd like that. And if I shoot, they will all be alerted. So most people try to play this map. They go in the secret that's to the left here, and just like wait for all the officers to pour in and try to kill them. There's barely enough ammo to do that. I mean, you can do that. You can even do that from 8 bullets, but it's not very fun. And it's kind of trial and error. So instead, this gives you a path with these blood stains. So if you follow the blood stains out, you can actually exit. Question.
Leon!
Okay, I screwed up. Let's try and do this the way it's intended. There's a bloodstain here. Okay. You can't always see the bloodstains, so that's a little questionable. But at least, you know, the sides that officers are facing you don't want to. You don't want to come up against. I think honestly this is the most clever secret level because there's an actual like path out. Okay, I'm gonna save at this point because I don't know where to go from here. Let me bring up the chat again. Jack Kalaka says, I actually like the mazes. Well, I don't, but I guess you're in the minority. I mean, there are some parts that are kind of cool. Oh, why am I getting all these drop frames? I have no idea. Like, my connection is not any different from any other day, so I have no idea why it's doing this. Hopefully it's not too annoying, and this will always be uploaded on YouTube, so, yeah. Okay, let's go back. Oh, damn. Let's see if I can keep going on this path. Okay, I'm here. Let's just fucking exit. Yay! Alright. It doesn't really matter to get the treasure because it's all, you know... I'm gonna kill this guy before he opens the door. This is one of the few maps that has moving guards right at the beginning, which I really like. Off the top of my head, I guess, episode 5, level 5, which I really like, and episode 1, level 6 do things with opening guards right at, or, you know, moving guards right at the beginning, but yeah. This is a pretty nondescript room. Actually, when I played this episode, I remember feeling like it was pretty nondescript castle areas, so it's kind of like harder to see the things that are happening underneath the surface. So here's like, it's kind of like a mirror of the big door labyrinths and of that like little mini door labyrinth in level 3, except this is, you know, much more doors, but it's like it's doing more with that idea, and this map is not actually that big, which is nice. I wouldn't say it stands out as much as some of the other ones as far as like, because map 3 and map 2 have like really clear landmarks, and this map sort of does, but yeah, this detail is much different. The way that the objects are placed, like these in the middle of the room right here, is different, so you can see that they're sort of changing changing the placement of objects and some of the ways that the rooms connect with each other to be more interesting than in episode 1. So this is where I get the key. I'm not going to go that way right away. Oh shit. This little ammo storage here. Even like rooms like this, you know, this room seems to serve some sort of function. There's like storage or something. So that. Yeah, and there's a stove in the room that has the meals in them. One of the things I like about this episode is the fact that like the setting makes a little bit more sense, calls more attention to the fact, like the really surreal things that end up happening. Symbiotic Q says, this seems more like this stealth game they first wanted to make. I assume you're talking about the secret level. Yeah, it's true. We'll go there later. Okay. And that's the critical path is over here to get the key, so let's go this way. More doors. Okay, and that's the way to get the key. There are multiple ways to get there. I like this sort of, in episode 1 you go into a room, you shoot a guy, you go into a room, you shoot a guy, and here there's like more spaces of contrast which works really nicely. Oh, that guy was stuck in the door. Wow, that is hilarious. Oh, okay. It's because these movement paths, like if you don't alert these guys right here, they'll get stuck together on the highest difficulty because there's too many guards. The movement is really glitchy in this game, like the moving guards. Yeah. Okay, I think there's a secret somewhere here. I'm not too concerned about the secrets because I already got like crazy ass secret. Yeah, okay, so this just goes through here. This is the critical path. Not too bad. If you run into this area, you know, at first, all these guards that are kind of roaming around will all be alerted, and they'll be coming after you, and there are a billion doors and not a lot of like places for cover, so it actually works really well. And it's a pretty small area, so it can get away with it, because you know, if it were that much bigger, like some of the maps in episode 6, it'd be super easy to get lost. Whereas, like, you know, here it's only a series of a few rooms, which is why I like it. And then this room is just something completely different. It's this, like, pathway that goes to a completely different themed area that you saw in level 1 here. It was giving you a little hint that it's this texture. And this is a maze in itself. Feels like a part of a different map. So, yeah, like I was saying about the layouts being more consistent and making sort of more logical sense in one way, bringing out sort of the weirdnesses of when they go against that. And this is kind of like, you know, because the beginning area feels so much like a castle in the way that it was built, it makes this area seem more strange that it's kind of appended to it. That guy's just facing a wall here. There's not much here except for guys and health, so it's just like a sneaky maze. It's kind of like what we just went through, actually, in the secret level. Where did this guy go? Fuck. Let me go this way. Damn it, I jumped. This game can still make me jump sometimes. Okay. Oh my god, what an asshole. Okay, now I'm actually gonna need some of this health. This maze, I mean, you know, if you put your, like, if you imagine putting your hand on the wall on the outside, it's like a hedge maze. You can get out. It's a linear maze, or maybe it is actually non-linear, but the exit is at least on the outside of it. So I'm just gonna exit. I don't want to mess around too much in there because it's easy to get lost. Let me know if the drop frames and stuff like that are becoming a real annoyance, because I can at least try and mess with it, but if not, then it's not really worth it, because this will be on YouTube shortly anyway. Alright, so here we go. And this exit area is the first place where I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? If I go, there's a secret here, and if I hit it one way, it'll give me a bunch of health, and if I hit it another way, it'll give me a bunch of ammo. I chose health, so maybe I'll use the... This is another maze, but it's a really weird maze. It uses this Hitler texture. And given how, like, relatively normal seeming this map is, having this this exit area doesn't make a lot of sense. But the fact that it sort of foreshadows the next map, which is a map that I wrote about in my blog, And probably I'd say like the most well-realized map in the entire game. It feels oddly appropriate. Okay, I took care of all these guys. I think there's a secret on one of these, but it's like a chain gun or something. But who knows? I can't remember, and like, you know. But yeah, I mean, this is when the game like really takes a turn into the absurd. All right, let's exit. Oh, of course. Okay. Well, thank God I have like a bunch of health over here. Okay, cool. I wonder if there's any ammo that I left over here. I don't think so. Oh, there was that little ammo room that I think is over here. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so not too bad, but it's starting to get a little weird. Okay, I'm a bit quiet. Okay, that's good to know. Alright, is that better? I can also move my chair in a little bit. Okay. I got like no secrets and treasure. I missed something quite obvious, I guess. Actually, I want to look at the map for a second. Just to see what I missed. Sorry, just going to minimize for a second. Oh yeah, okay, there are tons of secrets in the in that like maze area that I didn't know about. That's fine. Okay. And there was a chain gun, I just didn't know exactly where it was. Whatever. I don't need it, because like I guess the attitude towards secrets in this game is that like you find one or two and like, you know, you're set, so you don't need all of them. But there isn't a lot of logic behind most of the secrets, so I think that's being generous to even say that. I wonder if there's a secret right at the beginning here. Okay. Oh yeah, there is. This is actually a valuable secret, because right at the beginning here. So the first thing is like, obviously the setting is much different. No, it would not be possible to mass-produce color pictures of Hitler to that degree. I mean, well, presumably it would be, but why would it be in a random room in the castle? This is speaking through some very abstract, symbolic, like, language rather than, you know, something real and representational. But the fact that the environment feels a bit more representational makes it all the more stranger. So here, like, you start off, like, right immediately in a prison area, and then this is one of the most memorable areas of the game because there are 8 million dogs! So you have to start off the map by slaughtering a bunch of dogs. I remember being really like confused by this map, and it's much more sort of, you know, broken up. Here's another like little hallway. Let's go this way. All these like blood splatters are everywhere, so this is sort of the area that the maze and the secret map and whatever are hinting at. You're actually in this area for real now. Here's another room with dogs. Only this room and the other room, they're the only rooms with dogs in them. And this room actually has dog food, like, it makes a little bit more sense. Like, it's sort of a self-contained area. It's shaped like an O. There's dogs there. You know, but the other entrance room, there's no health or anything there, and they're just like this debris and just like 8 million dogs wandering around. It's kind of freaky. Here you can go either to the left or the right, and I like the way that this hallway splits. It's a very oddly shaped room. These guys are all hiding behind these barrels. Or these oil drums, rather. And, I don't know, you'd think that this area is important. It's just health and stuff, like debris, I like that the secret behind the pots and pans, it's one of the, like, only secrets that I really, like, intuitively knew about even when I was a kid, because it seems so obvious. It just gets you ammo, though. The article I wrote, there was a video that I linked to that's no longer up anymore, but he referred to this, the dude like referred to this as an Al-Qaeda bunker. Oh dear. So to the right goes to the rest of the level, but here is where I want to go, and there's more this like series of doors. Except here, like, it's a little bit more dangerous because there are guards in here and the doors are spaced out. But it's taking the sort of central idea of the previous map and the map before that of having these like little self-contained like passageways of doors, but it's always doing something a little bit different with them every time that you see it. And these side areas, like, even though they're not required, feel like useful. Like there's these racks of spears and stuff. But the funniest thing to me is, like, in an area that is so well lit, why would there be these blood splatters everywhere? Especially this one. This one always looked really gnarly to me. Like, I always thought it was part of the officer's brains or something when I was a kid. I don't know why I made that connection. But yeah, always been very strange to me the way that they just plaster that on the wall. This is in the shape of a swastika thing that they do very often in this game. It's a room to remember. Did I go into this one? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so like even these little self-contained rooms feel like they serve a purpose. This one's just has health in it, nothing else. In this little barrel maze. So each of even the small like little rooms have some character to them. Definitely like improves upon like the sort of language of the first few episodes. This is where you need to go. Let's do this. A bunch of guys hiding right here, which you would probably not expect. Very sneaky. That was a weird audio glitch. I love it when that happens, actually. Where are you? Okay. I swear to God there was another guy here, but I'm not paying attention. This room, like, is really gnarly. Like, there's just officers, and there's, like, an oven, and then there are all these bones and stuff. And like I said, every time, you know, that you see a sort of a normal castle area, the fact that all this gnarly stuff exists, and the same space as it, makes it even more disturbing. You know, whereas like episode 1, like there are tables, you know, casually sitting there next to bones and blood and stuff. Here, it's like it's separate area where it is just debris and bones and blood, and like the suggestion is that these bodies are being burned or something. and like the fact that there are officers in here specifically suggests that maybe narratively. I don't know. It's really creepy and unsettling, you know, to be in more like aesthetically pleasing castle areas and then to come upon a room like this that's just really freaky looking. And that's it, other than, I think there's a guy in this corner. Nope, a sink. So yeah, here it's like, these guys are in cages, there's some empty cage, there are skeletons in a couple, and then there's this sink here that maybe it's like cleanup or something. But it's very disturbing, the fact that this area is separated from the rest of the episode and the rest of the map really calls attention to it in a way that I find really interesting. I said in the article that I wrote that like Brenda Romero had said in some talk of hers that Wolfenstein 3D was about the Holocaust, and it sounded like it was like very off the cuff and like almost like she was joking, but there's some validity, at least when I look at this episode in particular, to that, like, or at least to the idea of conveying some sort of horror through very abstract, like, absurdist kind of language. That's something that I'm very interested in general, but I wouldn't make the case for it in most of Wolfenstein because it's just too, like, all over the place, but this episode in particular, it seems to come out more so than any of the other ones to me. So, here's a maze, and this maze is a little bit more, I find it interesting how well lit it is. I don't know, like, obviously the lights are just there for aesthetic purposes, but they're there to communicate the idea of being a light, I guess. I like that there's a bed here, right next to this blood stain. But like I said, the combination of this feeling like a semi-realistic setting and then there being this like little touches of bloodstains makes it a little bit more bizarre, because the room feels a little bit more like a sort of dormitory kind of room, or like lookout sort of a lookout room that someone would sleep, versus some of those gigantic castle rooms in episode 1 that just seem to take up like an absurd amount of space. I alerted guards somewhere over here where I don't know where they are. This is just ammo. This maze is confusing because the exit is not in a place that is really makes it. The exit is right here. And coming in and out of it to try and get back to the first part of the map, which you need to do if you go to this part of the map, and then have to come back to get the gold key, is pretty confusing. Thankfully it's like self-contained enough. Like, I think this is as big as mazes in Wolfenstein should get, and I like that this map uses the mazes in an interesting way. It doesn't go too overboard with them. Whereas I'd say like episode 6 in particular just uses it to an absurd degree, and I don't like it. I don't think it works. Like, here we go. Did I go in this room? Okay. I don't think I did, but... So this is very similar to what I was talking about in level 4. There's this like weird little portal set up. It's like really long hallway. It puts you to a completely different area of the map. This time it's this. We're back to this like castle-y gray stone, which we haven't seen much of, but you have seen like the castle-y sort of areas with all the armor and plants everywhere from like level 2. And you think this is the exit, but the exit is behind barrels. Like, you can't get to the exit here. It's doing it very intentionally to fuck with you. And nowhere else, as far as I know, at least in the normal levels, do they do this. The absurd thing about it is, like, you know, part of John Romero's, like, design language was like, if there's something there, then you should be able to get to it. But here, like, you don't know if there's, like, if you're just playing the game, you don't know if there's an expectation that somehow this barrel will be removed or something, or that you'll be able to get to the other side and exit, or if this is there for some sort of narrative thematic purpose, which it is. But then why would you put a barrel in an elevator like that? Perhaps they're, like, shipping it. I don't know, but it seems to serve the purpose of a fuck you, especially because the other key is in a secret. Which is the other thing that's almost, like, unforgivable as far as I'm concerned, that this map does. So, like, because there's a secret here, it, like, wants you to... And it's like a small, self-contained area. It wants, you know, it kind of expects that you're going to want to get here. Of course, if you're already, like, fully stocked up, like, that's a weird assumption to make. But yeah, I guess they assume that, like, Tom Hall assumed that you'd be trying to get to the secret and looking for this gun and everything, and then would find a key and be like, oh, okay, I guess I need that. But, you know, I never found this secret when I was playing as a kid, and I thought this level was impossible. I literally thought it was impossible because I wasn't just going to sit there and hit every push wall. And some of the places where, you know, you try and, like, figure out approximately where the push wall is, like, on the other side, like in map 2, have, like, really unintuitive routes to them, so why would I just expect that it's going to be here? I don't know, it's weird. And there's this, like, trail here that ends with a bunch of guards. I like it when they use this sort of diagonal shape of hallway. It's interesting. This next room is kind of gnarly, so gotta be careful here. Feel free to talk in the chat, by the way. Okay. Immediately, you hear the yelp of guards, but you have no idea where they're coming from. They're on the other side of these columns, and getting to them is kind of difficult. There's a big castle-y thing here, big red brick right here, and you don't know exactly, I don't know, the fact that this is, I'm just gonna fucking fire. Oh god. Not always the best strategy. Any guys over here? Okay. Any guys over here? Alright. If I didn't have the chain gun, that would have been worse. Plus I knew sort of where they were coming from. I'm gonna have to go back and pick up some health. But yeah, I like, this area has its own mood. Like, everything is drawing your attention to this room. And this is just kind of floating here, and the guards are kind of on the periphery. The placement of the guards is really thoughtful, and the sort of mood that is implied here with very minimal decorations is really interesting. It's one of the reasons why I think this is like one of the most effective maps in the game. The way that it uses space in this kind of raycaster setting. I guess it's trial and error to some extent, I don't know. Like, because Tom Hall made so many maps, and some of them just don't work and some of them do, but I think, like I said, the feeling of there being some sort of narrative logic combined with the absurdity is what makes it really interesting. The fact that it feels like a real environment makes the blood splatters on the wall and the bones and the fake exits like that much more strange. I think that's what scared me when I was a kid when I played this game. About this episode in particular, the contrast between those two things. It felt like less like an abstract playground and more like a, you know, a narrative or something. So this is the door that you can't get to unless you get through the secret. And then these are the other set of doors. This is kind of like a separate room that just serves as like a pathway to this set of double doors. Reminds me of episode 3, map 8, which I was talking about on my when I streamed episode 3. Let's save, because there are a billion guards here. I'm gonna come out of every single door. Oh my god. As you can see, it's pretty scary to handle these guys coming out. Exactly. You can see the intended effect of that room for how well I actually survived that, like, with full fucking ammo, or close to full ammo. Oh god, where am I? Oh, okay. Yeah, with full ammo and health, I could not survive this. Let's try this again. You don't want to let these guys come out because they'll come really fast. You don't want to let them pop out too much because then you have to sort of fire in a bunch of different directions at once. Alright, I handled that better this time. Oh, thank God. But yeah, this really fucks with you at the end. I think there's a secret too, so I'm gonna see if I can get it. Watch another guard just like pop out of nowhere and blast me. Yes. Oh, and there are 8 million guards in there too, so I might need to pick up some ammo before I do that. One of the fake exits, they do this in episode 2 also. Tom Hall specifically does this rather. One of the fake exits has 8 million guards in it. This time it actually leads to a secret, and it's appropriate because you just dealt with 8 million guards, and it's complete trial and error. What actual exit is going to be the right one? It's a very like sort of video gamey setup. One of these is a fake exit, one of these is the real exit, and one of these is a fake exit with 8 million guards. This one is the fake exit, and again, I guess you can sort of tell because it's a different shade than the other ones. So at least that's consistent in terms of its language, but we want to go into the fake exit. Wait, where? I thought there were 8 million guards in this room. Oh, they must have... Oh, I know what happened. Okay. One of the guards must have opened this door, and these guys came out. I guess that's something that can happen. 8 million extra lives, which I don't even need. Whatever. Let's exit. Oh no, there's barrels. Okay. Let's exit for real this time. I got most of the stuff on that map, so that's good. So, this episode eases off a little bit for the next 2 levels, because the last level is a bit absurd with what it expects you to do. This feels like it's very connected. Again, very castle setup. It feels like it's connected to level 4, because it's the same texture and it's the same sort of wide hallways. But it's just really the beginning area that feels like this. I never played Doom, but I played Wolfenstein a long time ago. That's interesting. Oh, this... this is a bug in the game. If the guards are moving, the thing right in front of them will become pass-through. And I guess they assumed that the guard would open this door, but instead, because of that bug, the guard just like phased through that door. You can make pass-through walls, and yeah, this hallway goes all the way down, the whole span, you know, the whole range of the level. I'm not gonna go there until I get everything from here, though. There isn't much at the beginning of this map. It's just this is just like an introduction area. I like how these exits being doubled, kind of like, because you know in that the other area, the other floor. There were multiple exits, some of which were fake, so it's kind of mirroring that. It tries to actually connect it narratively, which usually isn't a thing in this game. So I find that interesting. Also, the whole floor setup is interesting, because like a bunch of castle-y floors being right next to each other, and then in the middle there being this like really labyrinthine kind of like cave area. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe it's like the castle's built into a cave or something, I don't know. But like, I guess it's more of an implied thing, like maybe you're going all the way down and coming all the way back up, and that this level might actually sort of imply that. I'm going to start from the other end, because that's where the key is closer to this end. And let's just go down the list here. I guess I enjoy how committed to this premise this level is, but it's not that fun. Oh shit, I don't know if I wanted to actually pick that up. I will say that, like, unlike in Episode 6 Level 1, which is a map that does something similar, I like how the key is, like, the one turn that you take from this critical path is the key. Episode 6 Map 1 does something very similar, but you're required to, like running through, you have to go through very carefully, and you alert guards with every single step. It's a really absurd setup, and it's not fun to play. Whereas this, at least, like, you can run from one end to the other without opening any of these doors. You can choose any door that you want, although there isn't, like, a lot of logic behind which door it is, but you at least have some sort of... It at least gives you a bit more of a choice without just shoving you into an absurd conflict right away. I think that goes where I need to go, but let's see. No, okay. Yeah, so the key is close to one side, and the door is close to another side. Let's go in these other rooms first. It would be nice if there was some sort of marker, even if it was like extremely subtle, but I don't know exactly how you would do that. Marker where the door is, I mean. Okay. And notice it's all officers here, and it's all like normal guards in this other area. I think that's really weird and funny. It feels like a castle, but then there's this absurd hallway. I like the suits of armor because I associate them a lot with this episode. They're used all over the place in this episode. Oh god, I must have missed that door. Is it this one? Yeah, okay. So this one is like right, the entrance is right at the, is right here. So maybe that is one way to tell. God, I didn't have much of a chance. Starting this off with 29% health. Wonderful. This map is pretty linear, though. Oh, yes, yes, yes. This is just a normal hallway, but there's a Hitler right here. They always, like, this episode, you know, normally it put, like, a little steel panel thing right here or something like this. instead there's like a Hitler portrait. This episode always chooses, like, Tom Hall always chooses to do something slightly different and slightly weird. Let's just, like, wake up the whole country. Like I've said before, the officers aren't as scary as the mutants, but the one situation where I'm really scared of them is kind of what we were presented with in the last map, where they're coming out through multiple doors, and you really have to get them before they do that because they move really fast. You don't ever want to be handling multiple guards at once from different places in this game, because it's just not something that is good. It's like you always want to have some sort of cover. Alright. This is a little scary, but we'll see if we can do this. Can I go in this door? Okay, I can't. These doors are identical. This game isn't very good about differentiating the doors or anything like that. Playing through this again, I can see some similarity between Episode 4 and Episode 2, and I guess it's no coincidence that those are the most thematically consistent, and as far as I'm concerned, interesting episodes in the game, because they feel like castles. This is sort of similar to, if anyone watched my episode 1 stream, there's an area that's like a bunch of different square rooms that you have to go through. Here it's like a critical path, and the rooms are a little bit smaller, so I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the strongest area in the game, but the fact that you're going through it now maybe makes it interesting. Bye, Symbiotic U. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate everyone watching. It is nice to have, like, viewers who will come and watch my streams that I do at the absolute spur of the moment. Alright, I like this. These faces and all the Hitler portraits. This is... the game gets pretty surreal with the placement of the Hitler portraits. I find it funny, though, that like that Hitler room in map 4 is way more scary and weird than anything in the actual Hitler episode. Even though it's like narratively supposed to take place before all of that. And that is the weird thing about the Nocturnal Missions, episode 4 through 6 feeling the way that they do, being harder than the original and being kind of more surreal and weird when they're supposed to take place before. I guess they really couldn't, like... They had to find a way to, like, narratively justify why you would, I like that they're... So this isn't anything, like, too huge, but I like that this room, there's a bunch of guards in here, but it's just another place that connects you up to the locked doors, so it's, the space being kind of, I don't know, this kind of being an optional room that can potentially mess you up if you go in the wrong order. I think that's interesting. Okay, I'm definitely gonna need the chain gun here. So if I hadn't have gone to that room in the left first, I'd have a bunch of SS guys after me in addition to everyone else. So it's pretty nice how they do that, how Tom Hall does that. Alright. Thankfully, I know that there's an extra life here. So, my sins have been cleansed. In addition to getting all this treasure. Yeah, I always thought of this episode as being really surreal, but, and it is, but, like, the more that I think about it, the more that it, like, actually narratively and thematically makes more sense, and I don't know, that's why I like episode 4 and 5 in particular, is that they have some sort of, like, logic and consistency, at least behind, like, the way that they're laid out, even when this episode is doing really surreal things with it. These guys were alerted at some point, I don't know when, but I guess the fact that I was over here made it hard for them to come over to the other side here. This is just the exit. This reminds me of, once again I'm dealing with, you see pretty much every map now I'm dealing with a bunch of officers coming out of multiple doors here. Seems to be a recurring theme. Because it's one of the hardest things to deal with in this game. And this like cross light pattern is very reminiscent of the exit room, except smaller, in episode 3 map 6. I don't know if it's intentional or not, like an intentional reference to it, but it seemed very similar. So let's exit. I got 100% kills. 100% treasure too. Okay, so this map is weird. Oh god, why did I do that? When did I last save? Oh no. Taking a chance here. We'll see. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, looks like we're doing this again. God damn it. There's no way to go back to the map that you were in before. I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to start out with 8 bullets at the beginning of that map. Alright. I apologize. At least I, like, saved close to the end of this map. No, you fuckhead. God damn it. Okay. It's getting harder, and I'm playing it on hard, so I have to understand that. This game can be hard, even when you know what to expect.
Mein Leben! Mein Leben!
Alright. Let's go out this door. Yeah, that's right. The knife is really a panic weapon in this game. I wouldn't say that it's incredibly useful. I tried to make it more useful in the mod that I made called Chemical Warfare, but I don't really know that I did. Well, I made the guards stronger and the knife also stronger. But yeah, I don't know. We'll get the secret anyway. I'm sorry about that. This is the first time that I've actually screwed up and done that on the stream, so I guess that's good luck. Alright. This stream should be over in probably 2 hours anyway. It's an hour and a half into it, and the next level is pretty short, so of course map 8 is pretty long, so it'll probably take around 2 hours, maybe a little longer. Alright, let's get these mother fudgers. Let's get these mother fudgers too. I will say almost everywhere in this game you can back up at some point and to like a single unit wide hallway and let the guards pour out and get you through there. Like you can do that here, but it depends, and it really, you know, you always want to be safe in this game with the way that you approach those sort of scenarios. Sometimes you can get too sure of yourself, like I did right here. So the thing that I was trying to say about this level before I got unceremoniously slaughtered is that if you alert the guards right at the beginning here, they'll open this door. And that's actually pretty important because the key is in a secret yet again, but you can actually fuck yourself over and get stuck in this level. I don't know why Tom Hall chose to do it that way, but so let's do that, and then let's die. Of course, from a pistol start, like, the problem is, you know, you're gonna go into one of these rooms, and you're gonna fire, and, you know, it's, either, like, this door is gonna be open, so it's gonna alert everyone here, or it's gonna alert this guy, and he's gonna come out and try to fight you, so you're probably gonna fire here, which is gonna open this door, so you're gonna have to take care of all those guys with a pistol. Not fun. Let's go in some of these side rooms just for the hell of it, but you don't need to go into any of these rooms. As long as you can get the guard to open the door for you, which is the way to do it. You don't want it to do it the other way. But I guess, like, that's the sneaky thing. The way that this episode subverts expectations, because, you know, you go to these rooms first, and you fire at this guy. You would not... The last place that you would expect guards to come at you from is this locked door, but that's exactly where they come at you from. Why would a game go against its own sort of language established just to make it harder on you? I don't know. But that's kind of what this episode in particular does. Episode 6 does it a little bit too. A little bit. This is where the secret is that gets you to the key. You don't want to go here. Instead, you want to go to the left over here, as far as I know. Let me make sure I got that right. Alright. Poison Maker. Otto Giftmacher. Oh, okay, no, you do want to go in there. That is where the secret is. But what you don't want to do is hit this right here. Once again, it's the same logic as the secret in that other level, level 2, but the problem is you can just fuck yourself over permanently. And, like, I suppose if you killed all the guards in this map already and got to this area, and didn't know that you were stuck, you know, you tried to, like, to go around and do all that other stuff, like, you're fucked. Like, you can't kill yourself. That's the only other way that you could get out of this level. So it's really unfair and not a good decision on Tom Hall's part. I have no idea why he decided to do that. Probably didn't think too hard about it. Okay. And that's why I'd call this level really the weakest in the episode. The episode starts to, like, go astray a little bit. Map 6 is, like, still kind of interesting, but it's more, like, mazy and absurd. But at least it has, like, a sense of place. But this map is where, like, it really like, not so good. But the fact that you can just shortcut everything kind of makes it interesting. Like here, okay, so I go either right to the right or to the left. But I'm going to choose to go here instead. And I'm going to go through these set of double doors. Oh, sorry, wrong one. I'm going to go through, like I said, this set of double doors, and there's a locked door right over here, but when I kill this guy, to pick up this key to open that door, the guards will open the door already, so it puts the key right here, but then the guards open the door already. It doesn't make you go through anything else. It just puts the key right next to where the door is. It's very strange, and then this is the exit. If I don't kill myself, anyway. But I'm gonna wander around a little bit more because I want to get health. Yeah, very strange. It's almost like he knew that the level was a little bit crappy and let you kind of just complete it really, really quickly. This is sort of like Episode 2, Map 6 in some ways. Oh, god damn it. Why did I do that? Did I save? Did I save? That is the question. And I didn't. Oh my god. I am the worst with this fucking thing. Oh my god. Okay. I'll see you later, Jackalackalacka. Okay, so I'm not even gonna try and go on like the normal, or you know, get the other shit in this level. I'm just gonna try and exit. The one good thing is at least I can exit really quickly in this map. If I don't kill myself. Oh, wonderful. I think they went into one of the rooms in the right, which like alerted all these other guys too, so that's great. It's just what I needed. Get out of my way. Alright, and then one of these has a bunch of med kits, and I think it's this one. Sorry, I'm getting antsy. Okay, cool. That's done. I'm not gonna fuck around with the rest of this level. Just gonna get to the exit. There are areas over here. You can see them some other time. This map is not that interesting compared to the rest of the episode, and I want to not go too far over 2 hours. So let's just exit. So on the one hand, I'd say you could call this map forgettable, but on the other hand, it seems like it knows it's forgettable, and it's not very long. It's just doing something different with that same weird formula that is getting established. So I don't know. It's yeah, it's weird. That's about all I can say. Let's save. Not make the same mistake that I've been making. I think there's ammo in here, which I'm gonna... Actually, I don't need ammo, but what I am gonna need is health. So that's a concern. I wonder if I can... I'm gonna look at the map for a second. I'm totally cheating. Okay. Health is not super easy to come by on this map. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that previous area and go to the left here. now we are ready to exit. I want to start out the next map with 100 health, and you will see why. Oh dear. This next map is going to be interesting. Okay, so here you have the best start of any map. So you can expect that there is going to be... This is another map that is demoed. I think it's like the third demo or something like that. Maybe because like it's so hard to figure out actually how to do this. You can beat this from pistol start, but it's a bitch. But essentially you just need to go all the way forward, pick up all that ammo, and then there will be 8 million guards here. So let's do it. Alright. That actually isn't too bad, but for the beginning of the map, it's pretty absurd. Like I said, like this feels like a castle area, right? You know, there are all these columns here, but then there's this like very absurd beginning with a trail of ammo that's like leading you out here. It's weird. It's probably tied with episode 5, map 5 for like my favorite start area. This is a kind of a series of weird disjointed rooms with different ideas in them. I'd say this map is maybe slightly inferior to map 4 because it doesn't have like a consistent thematic thing going on, but otherwise I'd say it's the most one of the most interesting maps in the game. Oh god, let's see. Not making the same mistakes that I made last time. At the very least these are guards, so they don't fucking jumping around like those fucking officers who've had too much coffee. Jumpy fucking guards. This game can still make me jump. I've said it before, especially the officers. They just like shout at you and they move really fast. This is like a little maze, but this is the only other place, or one of the only other places in the game that uses the gray stone with slime texture. It's really associated with episode 2, but it comes back in this level, which I find interesting. But it's only in this first part. In Chemical Warfare, the mod that I made, like the one of the second to last or third to last level, you know, was like essentially just like heavily areas copied from the original and then expanded upon. And it's the same with episode 4, map 5. I did the same thing because both of those maps are really memorable to me. Here again with the Hitler portraits, this is a really bizarre setup here. Oh my god. There are guards at the end of each of these little, like, or some of them anyway. So just running forward is not a good idea. Alright, and I'm kind of in a shitty situation right now, so let's pick up some ammo at the very least. So this is a very like weird, surreal little hallway here. If you go right, there's a gigantic room that you would think is the kind of thing that they would put in a secret, or at the very least, you know, you'd think would be a required area for how big it is. It's this gigantic like little castle area. But instead, all it gives you is the chain gun, and there are 8 million guys. Oh my god, I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I think I'm going to go to a different... seeing all the painting kind of makes it seem like there's more people. That's a good observation. But yeah, it does. It's like how the brown plants make me think of that too. And you can't just shoot and have all these guys come out. You have to go to the other side of that. I'm not going to go there right now. I don't think I can handle it. This is another very strange room. There's a plant in the center of the room. Usually, you know, it's like the plant was reversed with, like, usually there are plants in the corner and lights in the center, but here there's a plant in the center and there are lights in the corner. And you can see guards out, peeking out here and here, and you can see this area here which is like a bunch of different textures, so it's a very like odd space to be in. Oh, wonderful, 2% health. Oh my god. Alright, well at least this part is like survivable. This map is not easy. I'd say like it has some of the same things that episode 3 map 8 has, really like weird surreal progression, but this map I'd say is more overtly weird. These, like, usually when you see these blocks separated from, you know, the rest of the wall, like, they're all the same texture at the very least, or they're the same texture as the wall. Here they're just a bunch of different textures. It's like weird rainbow confetti. Did I save? Okay, so I'm looking for health. We'll see how that goes. I think there's a secret over here. This actually sends me, I have the right key so I can go in here. And God forbid if you don't go into the area with all the guards with the first key, you know, and then do all this stuff. But then there's another area over here. And this is a different key door from this one, as is this one. They go to completely different areas, even though you would think spatially they seem very close to each other. Let's go in this one. At the very least I can handle these guys as they come out of this. And 8 million guards is easier to handle. Oh shit. 8 million brown guards is easier to handle. Much easier than 8 million officers, so. Let's try this again. Oh, what? Oh, there are shoot Stoffels here, so that's concerning. I'm gonna save right now. Switch to my mighty chain gun. I was pretty lucky there. Save again. By this point the game is really not fucking around with you. I like this area. It's kind of like, it's a maze, but it's also open. It's like well lit. It feels different from other sort of mazy areas that just feel kind of haphazard and thrown together. I don't know where those shoot Stoffel guys are though, so that's disconcerting. This is technically a secret, so yeah, not a required area, but the secrets are just as devious as everything else, other than giving you maybe a little bit of health, which I did need, so I'll take it. I will not complain about that health. And I think there's a secret somewhere in here too. 751. Wow. The stream is taking a long time. Okay, there's no secret. But you get the idea. At least I got picked up some goodies. I think I'm gonna try and go back to that big ass room. This map is fairly linear, so there's no other reason why I would be going back here, so let's save first. The sense of space in this level, like especially here, it's just not really something that you've seen a room of this size with this amount of officers at once. I'm gonna do the correct thing and peek out. That's the one good thing about fighting the death cars, is you can sort of do this. Peek out gradually. Definitely hard to handle these guys. Yeah, so that wasn't too bad. And I might need to actually come back here later if I need health. Oh, and this, I think this is maybe the only place where you actually see a light pattern in the shape of a swastika, so it's really, like, definitely memorable, but it's just an ammo and health area. The way that, like, this episode makes, like, non-critical path rooms actually, like, fairly crucial feeling to the rest of the episode is just really interesting to me. I honestly like the design of this episode more than I like the design of any Doom levels. Outside of a few, maybe, but at least an official Doom. And this reminds me again of, like, Episode 3, Map 8, these little square rooms that connect to different areas. And now we're in our completely different themed area. It's very castle-y again, but this time red brick and a bunch of columns. I always really like the columns and the armor because I associate, like, lots and lots of use of them with this episode. Oh. And they do feel very castle-y. So here's a couple locked doors. We can't go in them right now, so let's just continue. Oh god. Well, I probably will need to go back to that. So it's just like a little gauntlet, and then we're into this sort of area, and this room is not fun. So let's save. This is not an easy map. Oh, okay. Okay, so there are two paths here. Sorry, there's only one path. Oh god. These guys are deaf. If you run, let's do this just for the sake of doing it. Oh, okay. I didn't even get a chance to run down the whole hallway and alert, like, all of them, but you get the idea. That's what will happen. You can approach it from different angles, though, which makes it a little bit easier to handle. Right. Okay. Let's see if I can get... Okay. So there's an area with the key that I can get to first, so I'm going to do that, actually. Go back this way. Map 9 is short, so I promise that we will be done soon. I'm partly promising myself because I do want to get this finished sooner rather than later. Okay, so this goes to a completely other area. Oh, and here we are with this weird, like, fucking save game glitch thing going on, so... every time that I've played, it's had this weird texturing glitch, but I'm saving here, so what we'll do is we'll exit and then just restart the game. Come on. Oh my god, DOSBox crashed! Oh, that's not good. What are you capturing right now? Okay, I promise stay with us for a second while I relaunch DOSBox. I have no idea why DOSBox crashed. That is so bizarre. Settings. I want to make sure that I'm actually capturing. Yes. Are you... I want to finish the stream, so... is it capturing? Can you see Wolfenstein 3D? Or are you just hearing the sound? I think you're just hearing the sound. That's so weird. I'm gonna have to stop the stream and start it again. Because that's the only way that I can make sure that it captures the window correctly. So hold on for a second, and I'll be back in 2 seconds.